Hello, and thank you for joining me for Quick Tips for Online Teaching. I'm your host, Jenna Camp, and today we're talking about active reading in any content area. You have several options for presenting scholars with online reading material. If you're using Google Classroom or any other LMS, you can provide copies of digital texts easily for scholars by making sure they are in MS Word or Google Docs or even a PDF, and making a copy for each scholar. Be sure to pre-teach online annotating methods, including highlighting, underlining, and commenting. I have scholars use two different colors for highlighting: green for main ideas or thesis statements, and yellow for evidence and supporting details. I also have scholars underline any notable quotations or phrases that they think they can use later to support their own analysis of the text. Finally, I teach them about the comments box and have scholars use that comment box paragraph by paragraph or chunk by chunk to write summaries of the text as they read. There are also great reading material websites out there with reading comprehension and critical thinking questions built right in. My two favorites are News ELA and Common Lit. News ELA has articles on any subject across the content areas, from English to social science to history, math, science, art, health, you name it. Common Lit has much of the same types of articles, though they tend to focus a little more on the humanities. And I'll go into GoFormative in a bit. But don't forget the tried and true methods. SQ3R and Cornell Notes, for example, can easily pivot to online distance learning. Let's take a look at those. I use SQ3R with Cornell Notes. Scholars can use the Cornell Notes template that I created for them digitally, or they can create one on their own at home in a notebook, and they can upload a picture of their notes to me for assignment completion. This is a great way to differentiate and provide choice to scholars, both of which are academically and socio-emotionally sound practices. The SQ3R is a simple process that translates easily across subject area textbooks and online articles, though I will say it's best for nonfiction, informational, expository type texts. To use SQ3R with Cornell Notes, simply take the SQ3R acronym and put that in the left-hand Q column of the Cornell Notes template with enough space between that scholars can then write corresponding notes in the larger notes column. The reading process goes like this. S is for skim. Students glance quickly through the text to get an overall impression and then jot that down. Q is for question. Have students turn headings and subheadings into questions and jot those in their notes with enough space beneath so that they can write details and information in later. Alternatively, they can create their own questions to help them figure out their purpose for reading as they work through the text. The first R is for read. This is simple. They read the text. The second R is for review. Immediately after they read the text that first time, they now go back to their notes and jot down all the big ideas that they can remember, using the questions from above to organize that thinking. The third R is for reread. Students now read the text again, filling in the details in their notes, making sure to paraphrase and not copy or quote the text. Finally, I'd like to talk about a favorite new resource of mine, GoFormative.com. This easy-to-use website allows teachers to upload any text they choose and embed text-dependent questions into the reading experience for scholars. I love this because it allows me to upload any text I want, and I can also include translated texts with translated questions, meaning for my EL students, they can look at the exact same text translated and the exact same questions so that their understanding is developed the same way as my English speaking students. I also love it because you can ask different kinds of questions, multiple choice, true, false. There's a check boxes, or they can write brief little answers, anything that I need them. Also, you can therefore create basic comprehension or higher order thinking skills questions to develop scholars' critical reading skills. What's best is that I get immediate real-time feedback on how scholars are progressing through the text, so I can see what questions they're getting right, what questions they're getting wrong. I can also see what their answer choices are. So to some extent, I can identify the thinking processes and analyze how students are thinking their way through the text and address any challenges as they come up. GoFormative is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, upload and format any text you choose. 2, embed text-dependent questions. 3, invite scholars using the join code, and let the reading begin. Thank you for joining me. For more quick tips for online teaching, check out www.jennacamp.com or find me on Facebook or Instagram at Jenna Camp Educational. Bye.